go. Welcome. Oops, now one more. Not this one. God, I need another stand. Let's go over here. I don't like that. Oh, I like it when you're all aimed the same way. There. Now I just have to set this up. I use my crystal. It's a selenite. Cleans all the negative energy. You don't even have to recharge it. Great. Now, I'm just, you're charging, so you have to be away over there. Sorry about that. So I'm actually just preparing some sage into packages, little bags with some matches so that I can gift them. Wait. Hold on, you're not looking over the right space. Over here. There you go. Welcome, Facebook. Whoa. There. Great. Everything's going great. So this is a reminder also to move your body. The more that you move the body, the less pain and suffering you'll have in the long run. But of course, if you're not moving your body, when you stretch and move your muscles, it's going to cause you discomfort. In order to grow, you have to get out of your comfort zone. So this is a reminder to flex and move all of your joints and all of your muscles in all different ways, expanding. Look at popular. Popular. Darn it, why does it have to happen now? I have to message them. Darn it, and it's on here. I have to end this, I guess. Sorry, guys and ladies. You guys get to witness it. I turn theirs off. Ooh, okay. Done. Okay. Now back to this. Phone calls. Landline would fix this problem, wouldn't it? Okay. Oops, wrong button. Record. Live. All right. Here we go. Welcome back again. So, anywho, what I'm saying is that you need to stretch your body so that you don't get more aches and pains. And jump. But if you're in an apartment, you don't want to jump too much, because especially if you have people below you, which I do. So yes, practice moving your body, always stretching, lunging, because we have to always prepare for attack. Yeah. Bang. My skirt doesn't go enough. Bang, bang, bang. Elbow, elbow, uppercut. I learned something by watching the previews or the results of that boxing. It's barbaric, and I don't agree with it, but I realize it's exactly like the olden days in Rome, where they get these big, massive fighters going into the arena, and all the people in the arena have got their chicken bones, and they're eating it, and they're waving their greasy things and saying, yeah, get him. The only difference is it's not a king and a queen, and it's now called a boxing ring. And so when you realize what's going on, we're just living in the same thing as the Stone Ages, just in different houses and vehicles. Why does my camera on that one look like that? Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I just got a problem solved. Ooh, that helps a lot. Well, that was weird. Must have been dirty the camera lens. Anywho, so I'm here because I'm here to help everybody come into their power and realize what's going on. I'm not an idiot. And I started realizing about a year ago, maybe not even that long ago, that everyone doesn't think like I do. I thought everyone thought like I did. I thought they all thought like I did. And now I realize that no one has any clue what's going on and they're just focused on other stuff. They don't even realize what's going on. And that's one of the luxuries of being intelligent, is that we know what's going on. And people with knowledge are powerful because that means they can navigate life with ease, with minimal pain and suffering. And people with knowledge are powerful because they have the ability to take control, not by taking control, like to have the energy, the power given to that person, but they can take control by directing the energy. So you have a whole bunch of people in charge of the masses with lies and deceit and fear. The people that are in power, they've got the power and attention of everybody because whatever they say, everyone will do. That's how they got power. They're in control of the masses. So then if you get someone coming along that knows what's going on, they don't have to, a bad one wants to take the power for themselves. That's what a bad one wants to do. A good one doesn't want anyone's power. They just want their own power, and everyone else can have their power too. I'm just telling you that they've got your power and this is how you get it back. And that is the threat that they do not want. That's powerful. Someone that doesn't care about taking anybody's power, but wants everyone to get their power back. And I just want to say that I have all of the power of my ancestors backing me. And all of them are 100% working for Team Light, Team Jesus Christ. And so they're working with the people of colors. Seriously. So you need to get your people in order. No matter what team you're on, you need to clean your own backyard before you start cleaning anyone else's. So that means stop judging others and using it for justification to take their children. Hello. You guys think that you're all good parents? You're not. If you have to take in other people's kids and get money to do it, then you don't have means to support these children, so you shouldn't have them, because we can't have them if we don't have means to support. So why are you giving money to them instead of the people that freaking need it to keep their family together? It's because the system is rigged and we're not idiots. We know why. Now finally someone's just going to say it. You guys are actively trying to eliminate us and lying and gaslighting, just like all your descendants, little narcissists running around with their I don't think I can say it because it's inappropriate, but they're very arrogant, and I want to say stuff and insult, but they're really curbing it, so I can't say anything anymore because I'm supposed to take the high road, not because I don't have to do anything. That's the whole thing. That's what Spirit's explaining to me. I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is say the truth. Anything physically? No, don't have to do anything. I just have to continue telling the truth, and everything will take care of itself. And that's the karma that they get. Because when they chose to, oh, I see someone that can't look after themselves, I'm going to use my influence to make sure that I reach out to them and make an impact so that we now have a relationship. And I'm not going to let them escape, and I'm going to treat them like crap and use them, abuse them, because they knew that I had nobody. So people went out of their way to find me, to use me and abuse me, to not let me escape, like asking me to marry them multiple times. I'm like, no. And that they don't leave me. They wouldn't let me go away. They wouldn't let me escape. They wouldn't let me sleep in another bedroom, even in another bed. I had to sleep in the same bed while he's cheating on me, and he's asking me repeatedly to marry him. I'm like, no. And then he recruits your children to say, why don't you marry him? Why don't you marry them? So this is how manipulating and sick and twisted they are. So when you start thinking, imagine all of the technology of today is gone, and imagine we're all wearing just robes of the same color, neutral, everybody, but the behavior now and the houses are still the same. You're going to see that there's a behavior by certain people, and if you add their finances up, you'll see that the majority of the users are concentrated up on top. And of course, there's ones down below, absolutely. Because we don't beat up or use and abuse people stronger than us, because then we'll get our butt kicked. So we have to go downward. So when you think about this, that means the people on the very bottom, the more vulnerable you are, the more subject you are to all the abuse. This is scientifically proven, and so this is a universal truth. So you can't deny it. So when people are deliberately making you at a disadvantage, like taking away your family, sealing your records, like at what purpose is that? To protect the child from what? BS. From the parents trying to come get them? Let them have their child. You don't get to choose how another ethnicity raises their children. You don't get to choose that. And you can't justify it by saying, ooh, you can't look after them because you're giving money to those that you're putting them with. And then we have all of the admissions by the government anyways. So we're aware of what's going on, and we've had enough. You talk about, and the typical gaslighter thing is to blame us for everything that they've done and then claim for them everything that we have rightfully claimed to. For example, wanting our stuff back. They say, no, this is ours. We conquered it. So they've taken our rightful claim over what is ours and claimed it as their own by twisting it, saying by coming up with a word called conquered. That is not a people of color word. It was invented by non-people of color, and they just made it up and said, this is what this means. It's when someone comes in and takes everything, and now you have to do what they say. Done. So that's what the idea between conquer is. They're trying to make a word that seals the deal so that we don't take our power back. And so there are many words that these non-people of color have created. So this is their culture. Are all bad? No, absolutely not. I have white in me. My children have white in me. But when there's a principal and they have to point out who's causing all the problems, they're not going to, how are you going to describe them? You have to describe them. What they look like, what their gender is, where they came from, all of that. That's describing factors. And so it's acceptable so that we keep everybody safe. So anyone that says, oh, that's racist, whatever, they're just not wanting the spotlight put on them. And if you're of the demographic that the spotlight is on, then guess what? You're responsible. That's why we nip it in the bud. When you're part of this group, it's your responsibility to keep them under control because you're going to suffer the consequences. Just like I didn't choose to get enslaved and everything, but yet I'm suffering the consequences. And even being raised by whites, I go back into my First Nations culture now, and I have to suffer all the consequences of what they've done because no one's healthy and happy, and they're all messed up because of what the colonizers did. I'm leaning down because Facebook there. So I'm irritated, and the thing is, I'm no longer driven by emotion. And emotion is what makes you lose a lot of power. And so I'm not angry. I see what it is. I see who they are. I've been there, done that. I'm unafraid of all of these people. And I'm taking my power back. And anybody else that wants to take their power back from these users and abusers, join on in. Because I know there's these users and abusers in every demographic, in the female, in the indigenous, in the non-indigenous, and the Chinese, and the black, and whatever. But everybody that is working for Team Creator, Team God, Team Jesus Christ, I welcome you. I welcome you to take no instruction from anybody except for Creator. You are there to absorb all the information around you, and you get to choose what you're going to take in for your reality. So I'm not encouraging you to follow everything that I do. I'm encouraging you to follow me in snapping up and putting it in opposition and saying, we're not participating in any of your BS anymore. We're not putting up with your lies, and we've had enough. So if you're with that, then come side with me. But we don't have to have the same belief systems. We can still be friends because everyone's going to have different belief systems and everything else. I'm not here to argue with anybody. I'm just looking for those that are aligned with eliminating all of these users and abusers within society without using violence. We don't have to. Now, we look into the Bhagavad Gita, and that's a religious text by India, and it's Hindu text. And I studied that for a bit, and it's about a man who his family is at war, and while he's talking to someone highly regarded, giving him advice, he's telling him that he doesn't want to cause conflict and hurt anybody. And the whole story is where he has to learn that people will invade your space if you aren't actively, physically forcing a boundary because they're going to invade it. And so the more that you are lenient and subservient, the more faster that the sickness will invade us and take over. So we must know what our boundaries are so that we can enforce them right at that spot and not let anyone get past there, metaphorically speaking, and literally, physically. So if you want to learn more about this, and continue following me, because I'm teaching how to reclaim your power. And essentially what's happened is this was our boundaries, and we've been shrunken down by the government, and now we're way back here. And so in order to get back here, we have to give all the energy that they pushed us down here, and just to be able to stand up and prevent them from taking more, because we're still getting eliminated. Our power is still getting depleted because nothing is in our favor in this physical world. So now we have to give the equal force and more to stop what's going on, and then explode kind of like a superhero where you're like, bam, and then everyone's like, so that's what we need to do. We need to let them know who is boss. And in order for us to do that, we have to first get sober. Absolutely, without a doubt, you have to get sober and purify your mind, your body, and spirit. Stop putting chemicals in there, lotions, all that crap. Start going natural. You know, we used to wash our laundry and dishes with water. Wow, just water? Yeah, none of this crap. We used to bathe with just water and maybe some rose on us and whatever. That's it. Wow, really? Yeah. And we didn't get all of these diseases, and a lot of them cause mental illness. So these chemicals in the cleaners and the beauty products and everything else, they have the ability to control our thoughts. Seriously. There are literally also chemicals put in very famous potato chips that causes you to get hungrier. There's a chemical added in it in a whole bunch of brands, especially the really flavorful ones that taste like dinners, that brand. Look at the side effects, read the side effects, and there's going to be some ingredients in there that make you eat more. That's why when you have one, you just can't stop eating. And that's what they want. They have a chemical in there, so you keep eating, so then you eat more and more and more and more. Then you're going to get cavities because that crap sticks in between your teeth. And are you brushing your teeth after every time you snack? No. So you're pretty much, if you're lucky, getting a toothbrush in the morning and then one after dinner before bed. So two, but we should be brushing after every snack, because as soon as there's food there, it starts chiseling away. As soon as it's there, it's an impurity. That's what its job is. It's looking for the thing where it's going to attach. It's got its backpack. This potato chip is just waiting for a human to eat them and not brush their teeth, so that it doesn't just go down and get wasted. Its job is to destroy the teeth, the human body. So as soon as it gets in there, it tries to get in your teeth and is hoping you're not going to brush and floss. So then as soon as it gets in there, it's just going to start hammering away. And so this is when you do hard drugs and you're eating all the sugary stuff. They lose their teeth because they're not brushing in between every snack, because they're constantly snacking. So especially if you wake up in the middle of the night and snack, yeah, that's a thing, because I was under so much stress because of outside influences, and it caused me to get severe cavities and I had to get teeth pulled. And now I've learned my lesson. And this is just it. It's exterior forces that are destroying us as well as ourselves. We are choosing to harm ourselves by the choices that we make, because we're being influenced by other people. They want us to be destroying ourselves. Absolutely. The ones that are trying to destroy us, yes, There are people that want to destroy you as soon as you're born. It doesn't matter what gender or what nationality you are or what skin color you are. There's going to be someone somewhere in the world, at least one, but infinite amounts, that want to destroy you just because of who you are or who you look like, or maybe even because of who your mom and dad are. There are people like that. So the sooner that you understand this, the sooner you realize that we are under attack by natural disasters, people that are just a-holes that are having a bad day, people that are maliciously out to get us, as well as ourselves. And the more that we raise up and come into our power and be more influential, the more that everyone's going to notice us and they're going to destroy you. They're going to do everything in their power to destroy you, because it's like turning on the lights to someone that is severe pain from the light. So they thrive off of the darkness. So they're going to do everything to keep this in darkness, the whole world. So truth is powerful. It's the light, and I'm a light worker. That's why they're called light workers, because they bring the truth, and the truth opens up your mind. It takes away the illusion. It lifts up the veil so you can see better, so you can think better. Because all of these influences with the chemicals and the alcohol and the mind control and all this is meant to dilute the truth and fill our minds with so many things that we don't have time to think about anything. We're just trying to think about surviving. Because if we're relaxed, then we have time to think about how our day was and what makes us unhappy, because we want health. And everything here is making us sick, and we don't have time to think of anything because we're trying to survive, because all of our resources were taken from us. So that's how you get someone to rely on you. That's how you take power over somebody. You take away their freedom. If I'm trying to get power over someone in the home or in somewhere, I'm going to be I'll take their resources away. You don't have food, water, shelter, and clothing. So I have it. You want it, you have to come to me. That's how someone takes your power. And if someone else wants to take your power, they're going to take away your family and your ethnicity, because now you have no one to rely on, no one to support you, no one to protect you. So these are all, and seal the records for entirety. And then if you finally get them at the age of 50, everyone's already lived their life, and your family is connected like this. Who are you? You show up now. They don't treat you like a newborn baby and make that loving connection. You're just an adult, separated. So it's very hard to make those reconnections. So this is all done maliciously. The government of Canada and the colonizers, the original colonizers, knew exactly what they were doing, as well as all of their descendants that are still enforcing all of this behavior now. And how often do you see descendants of colonizers speaking up publicly and using their life to promote equality for First Nations people? How often do you see that? Do you see anything? Do you see a public or do you see a nonprofit agency that's specifically for helping the mental health and physical health of Indigenous people? You'll say, yeah, there is. No, I beg to differ, because everything that they're doing is run through things that are toxic. They're exploiting the elders by getting them to pray to Creator for honorariums over food that is poisonous, that have full food colorings in it that is known to cause tumors, that diabetes causing. All of this is colonizer introduction. It's not real food. And so the powers that are in control, they are maliciously still poisoning us, absolutely, without a doubt. We ended up making bannock, which is delicious, but all this delicious stuff is made out of things that are unhealthy. We made food out of what we were given, sugar and flour and lard, because all of our means of survival were taken from us. It's just so weird that I'm the one I'm the one that's doing all this, because I don't feel like I'm as well schooled as all of these people. But the more that I use my voice, the more that all this stuff comes out, and I realize, wow, I sound so intelligent. Like, where's this coming from? And I'm really grateful, and I'm honored, and I'm humbled, but I'm also in shock, because I still As smart as I am, I do not feel that I'm smart enough to do what they have me doing, which is reigniting the fire inside each and every one of us so that we want to continue, so that we know that God is real, Creator's real, and He's on our side. We've got spirit in there. So, you know how there was that big boxing fight? This is what we're in. We're in a big boxing ring. And when it feels like we're alone, we need to realize that we're not in this alone. We have the ability to tag team in Jesus Christ and all of these beings for light. We're in a world where it's infected with darkness, so they've got it under control. But because we're outside of our creator, there's free will. That means that they can't intervene in anyone causing harm unless you ask for help. And then when we do, they will come in. So it's because of free will, we have to invite God in. We have to invite Jesus Christ in to assist us. And what I find works best is when we tell why we want them. Like, angels, Jesus Christ, God, please help. Please help me get healthier because I don't want to die. I'm afraid I'm going to die. Whatever. Just say the reason why you want their help, so then they know what your intention is. So free will involves, when you're working for healing, involves saying what you want and why, what your purpose is. So then they know that you're using their help for good. They aren't going to help you unless they know that what you're doing is working for God. They're smarter than that. So if you want to, you have to make sure that your heart is pure. Well, I'm talking so much. Darn it, and I didn't see that there are so many messages. Hold on. Every race hates me. I'm sorry. Whoa. I'm sorry. I don't think there definitely are people in every race that hates you. Absolutely. There are people in every race that hates you, but not every person in every race hates you. That's what you need to understand. There are people that are conscious, that are working for God and Creator. Everyone gets triggered. People get triggered when I say God. People get triggered when I say Creator. When I say anything, it's so frustrating. But there's haters everywhere. No matter what we do, we're going to have haters. It is important to call out the demographic of those that are causing harm so that we can pinpoint them and the demographic can take care of them. That's like if someone says, hey, the Fountain family is being destructive, you don't hear some of the kids go, hey, not all of us are bad. We didn't say you're bad. We're saying that family's up to no good. And yes, you're part of the family. So get them under control because there's consequences to their choices. And this is why First Nations teach us that we're responsible for the 7 generations ahead of us as well as behind us, because we're suffering from the consequences of them and everyone around us right now. So is this a life that you want? I don't want it. And of course, you got the ones that are oppressing, they want to keep it the same. And that's the thing. People that are in power with power that's not theirs are not going to want to relinquish it peacefully. And endless people, men, have told me and messaged me and posted that they're not going to let go without a fight. Okay, we know that because that's who you are. You're aggressive and mean, and you fight for things that are not yours. You use all means necessary to take what's not yours from the unwilling. So when people say, yeah, we're going to fight to take it, these are the ones that also take things from women when we say no. These are also the same ones that give women alcohol so that will convince them and make it easier to get them access to women's bodies. Think about that. You're giving someone a concoction so that they lower their inhibitions so then you can have access to her body. Why can't I do that with other hard drugs or other concoctions? See, this is it. Narcissists make their own rules. They make their rules as they go along, but it's double-sided. I can cheat, but you can't. I'm free to do whatever I want, but you can't. I have sovereignty over my body, but you don't. This is how they act. And this is what it was like as soon as they arrived here in Turtle Island. They arrived here and they did that. They lied, they cheated, they gaslit, they stole, they pillaged, they did everything. And then they say, well, you guys were doing it too. No, we weren't. So another, lies to justify. They figure that if they say that, then it justifies. No, we never fought until colonizers came, because we live according to the sacred teachings, because that's what's so beautiful about our culture, is that we're connected to Creator. That's what's so beautiful about women, is that we're connected to Creator. So when you have Indigenous women, they're extremely powerful and extremely connected to Creator. So be very wary when you mess with a woman. This is why men know that women can be scary. But then you get these idiots, that get in between a mother, Indigenous person, and her child. They use all means necessary to enslave the woman. They take her from their family and ethnicity and seal her record so she doesn't know who she is and where she came from. They beat and abuse and mentally abuse and destroy, emotionally break the woman and take her children and take her body without her, after she says, no, no, no. They just take it, and do all of this stuff, beat her children and steal from her children, everything you can imagine. And then all of a sudden, God lets me have my birth certificate, which reconnects me to my family. And then that's where I find my courage. Darn it, I don't have my necklace on. Don't even guess I don't need it anymore. I don't need it, but I still love it. I'm going to wear it all the time because it's freaking amazing. It's the bear. I learned that bear represents courage. That's an Indigenous symbol of courage. It represents our voice and our ability to use our voice to protect the innocent as well as ourselves, and learn to speak up when our boundaries are infringed upon. And to also remember that a mother bear has a hibernation period where she's very vulnerable and her children are very vulnerable. And predators will come at those times if they want to take the children. And they use all manipulation tactics to get the offspring. And a mother bear has every right to destroy anyone in the way of the mother-child relationship, because that is the lineage for Creator. It's life. You are their life system. The mother is the life system. They nourish us from us with our physical body. We are their life, energetically and physically. It's our same flesh that's attached to our child, which is an extension of us. We are one. We feel the same things up until the umbilical cord is cut. And then men think that it just ends there, but no, we still feel the same extreme anguish. So I'm here to remind everybody about the mama bear inside of you, and remind you that you are justified in reclaiming your children. And what is being done to us is ungodly and unacceptable. To remove a child from its mother at birth for hours, I was left in the basement immediately after giving birth. A man, a white man, I don't know if he was a nurse or a doctor, left me for hours in the basement in front of a clock, in front of the elevator by myself for hours immediately after giving birth to my child. A man also severed the umbilical cords for all 4 of my children. A man has also, well, I could go on and on and on. I know that you also have your stories of these men that intervene in the mother-child relationship, and it's disgusting that we're forced to have a legal system which is just an excuse to enforce removal of children for men to diddle them. That's all it is. It's to cause us pain and suffering. Men are trying to destroy us. If you want to destroy a mother, you take away the child, especially when it's a baby, a newborn. Absolutely. And so placing that child in an environment where you've been previously abused is extremely emotionally draining and toxic to the human spirit. So the father of my kids brought my daughter to the other father, and no, I didn't pick fathers for my kids. One, I didn't even want him in my life, but he violated me and impregnated me against my will. So bam, now I have two fathers. And then of course, this white demographic always throws that in my face. Oh yeah, two fathers, typical. Both are white, and I didn't pick either of them really. I kept saying no, 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 and they wouldn't leave me. So it's really funny how the abusers throw at me all of the accusations that that demographic is. I see it over and over and over, and this is a way to confuse us and silence us because I have nobody to back me up. I was only with white people, so when they're using me and then I stand up and say that and then they gaslight me, it's meant to make you go mentally crazy. And then when they do something to trigger you and you freak out, then they're like, "See, she's mentally crazy." Yeah, I'm being triggered by someone that is abusing me constantly, and I'm responding to that, and it's explosive because you've been doing it all along. So, this is what narcissistic abusers do. They use you for breeding, and then as the children are getting older, they manipulate the children to not listen to the mother, and then tell the children that the mother's manipulative and controlling and ruins their fun and not to listen to her and say all of these things to distance the mother. But when you have someone like me that has nobody, that everyone abuses, this is extremely amplified. And of course, the father knew this. He absolutely knew this. And he would push and push until I would be devastated. He absolutely knew my history. And this is how you break an animal emotionally, a horse emotionally. Not to mention that he worked with his employers at Stony Valley Contracting, where one owner drove me there and another picked me up and returned me from a remote location where I was assaulted and called racial slurs and threatened with my existence by two other employees. So I know what it's like to be used and abused. I know what it's like to have my life threatened. I've had a knife held here. I ran after a thief. There's endless things that I've done that I didn't do to prove myself. It was just my natural instinct to behave in these ways that are very valiant and powerful and awesome. I'm awesome. And it just shows you what kind of a person I am, despite all of the things that have happened to me and all of the things that were maliciously done to me, meant to destroy me. And so if I can overcome all of these things, that I know that you can as well. Everything that we experience, even when someone's trying to destroy us, can work to our benefit, and that's what God did. He said when the demons were like, we're going to hurt everybody and cause so much pain and suffering in this nice heaven you got, God was like, I cannot stop you, but I'm going to give them amplified of the good every time that you do something to them. And so when we can heal, there is always going to be something beautiful. Always. And that's why with very ugly relationships, we also get blessed with beautiful human blessings. And so we're not meant to eliminate our children, but women are known to eliminate the children when the woman feels it's a threat to her safety or the safety of her child. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out what kind of a world this is that we're living in. It's definitely not safe for women or children. It's our number one threat is almost 100% men. And so you got all of these men that defend men and just try to justify the treatment, saying that we should pick men better. It's called victim blaming. It's taking not accountability for the bad. A predator is going to find a prey. So if they're looking for somebody, they're going to go for the weakest link. So is it the weakest link their fault that they got preyed upon? No, we know that. The predators know that, but I'm telling you in explained, so in a way so that you can now recount it to anybody that tries to use their imaginary hypnotism. That's what they think, to trick us into believing these lies that they're saying. We were not fighting before. Indigenous people did not fight because we trusted everybody. We're all keepers of the land. God gives us exactly what we need. We don't need anything from anybody else. We all live in peace. We all share. We all get along. It's one great, big, happy family. And yes, it can be that way. That's what heaven on earth is, where everyone gets along. Only the Beverly Hillbillies and anybody inbred or whatever isn't going to be able to get along. It's not supposed to state stuff like that. Because you have the ability to curb your mouth and control yourself. The people that can't are working for demons. They're sick. So we need to pray for them and distance ourselves until they get their crap together. Because if they're causing harm to women and children, they're a threat to humanity. Humanity is brought forth through the women. The women birth the children. We don't need men. Jesus Christ was born without a man. Without a man. Jesus Christ was born without a man. Therefore, it happened once. Therefore, if everything was wiped out except for one woman, it could happen again. So that's how the earth began in the first place, because women are the first created. We were created before men were created. We birthed the man. And then the men got deviated because the demons that were working against God were like, we just want to get in, like a person trying to get in to play a video game. Like, come on, let me have a turn, let me have a turn, let me have a turn. And you're like, I want to try so bad because you're watching, you're like, I'm going to ace this. But the problem is demons, they want to destroy the whole game, everything in. They want in the game so they can destroy everything, cause much pain and suffering. And so when someone finally, the demons go and whisper in everyone's ears, trying to say, come on, let me control you, do what I say, go hurt them, go do this. And finally, they got the weakest link, which was a man. A man was the weakest link. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And so began the downfall of women and all of humanity. So, yeah, we fell down, but now we're getting back up. And there's a reason why, darn it, I lost what I was going to say. We're falling down and we're getting back up, and we're not going back down again, because this is the thing. The Spirit was preparing me relentlessly for whatever it is that they're preparing me to do. But when they got me to start talking about the truth, about who I am and why I'm here, they let me know that when you're ready to stand, this is it. This is it. Like you have to be able to stand up and not be kicked back down, because that's what they're doing. So I have to be strong in my roots, know exactly, because there's going to be liars and deceivers trying to take me away from where I'm going. I'm going there. And so the people that don't work for you, that are working for the opposite team, are going to try everything. They're going to pretend to be your friend and distract you. They don't want you making any progress. They're going to try to get you to make money or something, because your job is not money. Your job is healing. Your job is working for God and all of the things that you're being told to do. So the people that aren't your friends are going to pretend that they're your friends and try to get you to do things based on your insecurities. For example, mine are family connection. So that is a way that would have been easy to target me and get me to do stuff. So then it's focusing me on this instead of over there. But the more that time goes by, the more that I'm healing from all of these people, and I can see who's on my side, who's not. And sometimes I play with them. And just to watch them squirm and to watch them behave in ungodly, lacking integrity ways. I live like they think I'm an idiot. I sit with people and listen to them as they backtrack on their things and lie and cheat and steal and do everything. And I just observe, because I don't have to call everybody out. It's entertaining, and when I watch them, it teaches me more things, because one, it's teaching me to not say anything when there's someone going completely irritating because they're working for the opposite team. It teaches you to be extremely in control. So that's the goal, is to be able to stand in front of somebody that just strikes a chord and you just watch them, because you don't have to act right now. You wait till the timing is right, and God is going to lead you to the perfect timing where you get to strike back. You don't have to physically strike back. No, all you have to do is say the truth, and the truth does magic. Seriously, it is kryptonite for them. They scatter. So no one wants the truth of their things to be done. We can have mercy on those that repent for the things that they're doing, but when you have someone saying lies and things that are separating you from your children, that's when we don't have to have any mercy, because you've missed out. They've done this all maliciously. So I'm really grateful that there's a God. I want you to know that you're not alone. You can call upon God and Jesus to help you get justice for your things as well. Heaven on earth isn't full of cowards. It's full of courageous people that stand up for what's right. You have to find your voice in order to reclaim your power. You have to. Otherwise, you're always going to be underneath while they've said what they've said and done what they've done, and you are underneath them. So if you want to reclaim it, you have to learn to use your voice, and it is frightening, and it's a big adrenaline rush, and it's risky, absolutely. So the risk it's not a blame for anybody except for the person that's doing it, the predator. The predator is risky. Every time someone's trying to reclaim their power, it's a given that the person that has your power is not going to give it up completely or give it up willingly. And if they've had your power for a long time, what's going to happen is when you finally say something, they're going to be like, what? They're going to be shocked. And that's when you just be completely calm. And you say, yeah, I'm aware of what you've been doing all along. It's a power exchange, a power struggle. It's someone that's wanting the power of somebody else, and they've taken it against the person's will. And now that person is wanting their power back, and I'm taking it back. And so when you frame things like a truth, it makes them lose their power, because they realize that you're onto them. And because if you know the truth, you can stop the truth from happening. If you don't know what's happening, then you can't stop it. So the first step in gaining your power back is understanding what is going on when someone takes your power. You have to understand power dynamics in order to reclaim the power that's been taken. So people that use you and abuse you are taking your power, taking your will to live, and that is what you need to reclaim, is all the power that they've taken. So I teach this in my warrior training sessions. So I teach children and adults and mostly children. And so you come here and I increase their reading and basic math skills. So I'm looking for the kids at the very bottom that are struggling with reading skills and basic math, so I can work them up to multiplication and stuff. So then they at least are going on forward with these skills that are really necessary. And then I am teaching them consciousness and emotion management and the power dynamics, quantum healing, psychology. So I do this, and it's 2 hours minimum per session. And the kids really get a lot out of it. It's powerful. So I also have my websites, and I do workshops for individuals and groups. So if that interests you, let me know. Anyways, my throat is sore from talking so much. So I'm going to go online and relax and peruse the social medias and maybe write a little bit for my books. Anyways, thank you for following. I'm so grateful that you're here with this journey with me, and I'm excited to see what happens, and I hope that you'll be participating in it, because we are creating the new world. It's not just me. I'm here to break the silence and then gather everybody so that we can work together in creating this new world. And so, yeah, you're part of it. I love you. Have a great evening. Whoa. Too many social medias.